Yeah, what's going on YouTube channel? Stars down again. Go hard, go home. Today I'll be talking about child custody statistics, okay, and what custodial parents should know, okay. I'm making this video because since I'm not really down with the red pill and MGTOW and manosphere thing. I've gotten a lot of questions from those groups. One of them tends to be about custodial parents and women getting more custody than men, which I'm gonna discuss that in this one too. All right. The reason why I'm naming the video is that women don't have no say, or women's words don't matter. However, the way I worded it after this is that, in my opinion, based off the information I'm about to read right now and the way that I look at things, women don't have any really any say in this whole thing. Okay. This got started by men. Men wrote the rules of the world. I say that in almost all my videos that I be talking about. Okay, which I think is a narrative that the red pill or MGTOW guys would agree with, that men made the world and the rules in the world. But that's one of the things I'm gonna keep going over as we talk about this. Even this has very high undertones of men made these rules in it. Okay, so we're gonna go there today. We're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about the statistics of my country mouth. The statistics. We're gonna talk about those. We're gonna talk about gender bias during this stuff right here, because that's in there too, and they even admitted in this right here. So there's that. There's also some programs that help fathers who are not with their kids to be able to have more money towards going with the kids and stuff like that. I'm going to go over one of those things in here, okay? The reason why I'm going over this stuff is because these guys are walking around with the defeatist attitude, like they're essentially against people, trying to keep guys from having their kids, and that's not, okay? There's a system in place to enforce you taking care of your children and enforce you taking care of a wife that you left. There's a system for that, but there's nothing against nobody. That's why I say the women, their words don't matter. These rules are put into play by men to enforce rules on men who don't want to follow rules, who don't want to be men. That's what I think about the manosphere, and that's what I think about the red pill guys. And that's why I think they have a problem with this type of stuff. You got your men's rights activists. I'm gonna be going over some stuff with them too during this video, because they're screaming and talking, but most of this stuff right here that they're talking about, it don't even matter. So we're going to get into all of that, okay? Before we do that, y'all hit that subscribe button for me, okay? I don't want no money, no cash apps, no Patreons, none of that junk. I'm just going to be bringing the good information to the front. If people take it, they take it. If they don't, they don't. I just want the subscribers. That's going to keep me interested. Let me know that people are listening. So, without further ado, y'all done said that. Hit the like, subscribe, share. And now y'all have done that, that's my donation for the day. We're going to go ahead with the child custody statistics and what custodial parents should know. All right. Now, I want to point out to y'all right up here in the corner where I'm moving this mouse at. I'm pretty sure y'all can see that. Okay. This was written on the 12th month, 6th day of 2021. So it's a fairly new report. All right. It's on the site called justgreatlawyers.com. It's just some information I was looking up through lawyers and stuff like that, because I think that instead of these guys sitting around crying and complaining about women and thinking that women are doing something to them, they should consult lawyers and get the stuff done. All right. But I'm going to try to leave a link for that in the video if I can later on. All right. But let's get this cracking. All right. I'm going to move myself up here, and I'm going to start moving this bad boy down. Okay. Now, during custody hearings, it's normal to wonder about the outcome and your children's future, okay? Are you or your spouse more likely to be granted custody of the children? And how are custody decisions made? Does gender play a role? And if so, how much of one? And that's the answer to that already is yes. We're going to get to this later on down the thing. Gender does play a role, okay? These child custody statistics break down data related to custody by gender, which parent is more often granted custody, father's rights, and more. All right, so we got a table of contents here. We're going to be going over some of this stuff. You got the general child custody statistics, by gender, by state, by race, all this junk. So I'm finna go over every last one of those. So yeah, you might want to buckle up. All right, I'm telling a few jokes in the middle of having my beer and jump, but the deal is like this, okay? Child custody is a term that it comes to the legal right to care for and make major decisions concerning a child. The custodial parent gets to decide issues such as schooling, child care, medical care, religious activities, travel, extracurricular activities, sports, summer camp, that kind of thing, okay? Now, child custody can affect biological or adopted children, all right? We all know that, okay? So one parent may be granted sole custody or full custody, or both parents may have custody under a joint custody agreement, which that normally happens more often. We're going to get to that in the thing here. Okay, courts attempt to determine child custody based on what's in the best interest of the child, okay? Now, and here you say they got these little blue things. I'm going to click on this one right here so y'all can see. All right, it takes you to the www.census.gov site, all right? And it cites all the stuff that they were going over. They're gonna go over this right here in the next one. But I wanted to show y'all that this comes from the Census Bureau. They went and got the census, all the information, they're getting it from the Census Bureau. So it's not nobody just talking smack. And these is lawyers. And the thing about it too is, I suggest for guys to call lawyers and talk to them. If you think you can't get your kids, but don't have no defeatist attitude like these MGTOW and all this other junk, because the system will work for you just as well. All right, so we're gonna go down here. The good news is this, okay? Parents settle 90% of child custody cases without a judge having to make a ruling. Here are some other statistics and demographics from the U.S. Census Bureau. That's what we just looked at concerning child custody cases. These are the things that was on that page, all right? The United States had about 12.9 million custodial parents. That's 4% of the U.S. population. Okay, over 1/4 of all children under 21 years of age had one of their parents living outside their household in 2018. That's approximately 21.9 million children. The percentage was higher for black children, nearly 49% of whom had a parent living outside the household. Okay, and that's a statistic by race that they're going to be going over. All right, which black guys watching this, they're being all that manosphere and all that junk. That got to change right there. They got to change. Well, I junk always higher than everybody else's, but that's because y'all too busy bitching and complaining instead of doggone calling lawyers and figure out what the hell to do. All right. Children in households where one parent was absent were more likely to be in poverty. In fact, about 30% of these children were in poverty, which is about 3 times the 11.1% rate for children in households with both parents. Okay, so slightly more than half, about 51% of custodial mothers. If the mothers that was custodial, they were employed full-time year-round in 2017, while 21.6% did not have a job, okay? So more than was working than was sitting at home. And full-time year-round employment for custodial fathers was higher, okay? 74%, okay, while 9.2% did not work at any point in the year. Now I want to start pointing that out, okay? Because they keep making this complaint about the woman getting the child, but the reason why is because in most cases, the man is freaking working. We just saw that one. The man is working full-time. He's the only one really taking care of the household in a lot of the cases, okay? Child custody statistics by gender, okay? 41.6% of custodial mothers are 40 years old or older. The figure was higher for custodial fathers at 54.6%. That's because at 40 years old, people not really playing around no more. And if they're going to do something, they're going to make stuff happen. Most of the guys complaining about that system are young guys because they don't want to navigate it, especially the black guys, because a lot of them want to stay away from the system, I guess. But that's why I don't get. People want to stay away from the system and all this junk, but you live in this country. You pay their taxes and all that shit, but you don't exercise the rules. I don't get that either. 62.9% of custodial fathers are non-Hispanic white men. Custodial fathers are more likely to fall into this category than mothers, okay? See below, and were less likely to be black. Okay? 44.2% of custodial mothers in the U.S. are non-Hispanic white women. 40.4% of custodial mothers were never married. 29.3% of custodial fathers were never married. And as of 2020, approximately 3.3 million fathers have custody of their children. Now, see, these people, that's why I go against the MGTOW and the red pill and all the other junk, because they keep telling you guys can't get their kids, and that's bull jive. Okay? That's just in 2020. 3.3 million fathers was their kids in the house. So that is damn near 10% when you got like a 400 million people population. Okay? Not 10%, but probably around 4, that's close to 4. I don't know. But 3 million fathers having custody of their children. That mean that's bull jive about you can't get your kids. It's bull jive. Okay, the statistics by the states. Legal custody rules differ from state to state, one state to another. In fact, states provide most of the guiding legal principles in child custody cases. For instance, some states consider a child's preference for one custodial parent or another, while others don't require courts to do so. Still, others allow children's input once they reach a certain age, okay? So they're going to talk about this. They do all the things, but they're going to go down here and give us a breakdown, okay? Now, you see right here in 2017, Kentucky was one of the few states to make joint custody the standard arrangement for temporary orders, okay? So joint custody. You can't ask for anything else. No sole custody, nothing else, all right? It's going to be joint. 25% of households in Tennessee are led by single fathers. As of 2018, 25% of households. So out of 100% of the households in Tennessee, a quarter of them, the guys got their kids. That's like 25% of the households. That's something else. Because when these guys sitting around talking about people can't get their kids in the whole state, out of 100%, a quarter of them got their kids. That's a lot. When you got people walking around talking about you can't get your kids, you getting screwed by the system. No. Somebody's getting by the system. It's just not you. Okay? And 14-year-olds in Illinois and Georgia may choose which parent gets physical custody of them, all right? They go right here and talk about this stuff again. Right? They come from the Census Bureau study. The stuff things went over. So we just talked about that. Bam, 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 bam. 13 states do not require the judge to consider a child's preference for custody. And 37 states and Washington, D.C. itself require the judge to consider the mature child's preference in custody. So if you live in Washington, D.C. and these other 37 states and your child is like a teenager and they don't live with you, well, there's a reason why. You know what that reason is? They didn't want to. Your kid didn't want to live with you. Okay? Child custody statistics by race. Okay? This is the number of children who live with a custodial parent. It varies widely according to race, with the highest percentage being among black children and the lowest percentage among the other U.S. Census category that includes several groups, all right? Approximately half, 48.8% of all black children had a parent who lived outside their household. This is by far the highest total among any racial group and constitutes nearly twice as many as the total for all children. Well, when you got this big manosphere and this whole thing of guys and against girls and black men against black women and all the other good stuff, yeah, you're going to have that. Which I say the manosphere, that's why I say the manosphere, the red pill and all that junk is bad. It's bad because it's going to perpetuate stuff like that. To keep arguing and keep fighting and complaining while your doggone rates and stats just keep going up. Among Hispanic children, 28.7% live with a custodial parent, and only 22.7% of white children live with a custodial parent. The percentage is even smaller for children of other races. defined by the U.S. Census in categories such as Asian, Alaskan Native, American Indian, Native Hawaiian, and other Pacific Islander. Among these children, just 13.6% live with a custodial parent. All those groups they just mentioned, y'all, are Asian. All those groups pretty much fall under Asian. Okay? If people gonna complain, because go look it up. All right? I met a Pacific Islander one time, and I was telling her she's Asian. She was like, "No, I'm not." We went and looked it up. Yes, she is. Okay? All those places, Alaska, American Indians, the Native Hawaiians, are typically thought of to be of Asian descent. They go all the way back to Pangea, and these people, they migrated to these areas, and then they broke apart, all this other good junk. Either way it goes, that's what it comes down to, all right? So mother or father, who gets custody more often? All right? So as of 2018, nearly 4 in 5 custodial parents were mothers, 79.9%, okay? But the statistics go deeper than that. Not only does the mother get custody of the children more often, all right, and then this is the red pill complaint. The parents agree in more than half the cases, 51%, that the mother should have custody. See, they don't bring that part up. They don't bring up the part about, hey, yeah, the women are getting the custody more often, but in most of these cases anyway, the guys are already agreeing to it. They don't bring up that part. That's why I say it's bad. It's kind of disinformation. They tell you a little bit of it to get you pissed off, and then they want to keep you that way so they can't tell you the rest. All right? That's also one of the reasons why I say women really ain't got no say in it, because the whole deal of it is if the women were just saying, if the women had just this power that these people are talking about, there wouldn't be no 51% chance that guys even agreeing to it, because he wouldn't have no talk. He wouldn't have no say. Just throwing that out there. The guy wouldn't have no say. He does have a say. Okay? And 51% of the time, he'd be like, he cool with it. So we got to put that one out there. Okay? The number of children living with both their parents has fallen significantly from 85% in 1968 to 70% in 2020. Okay? That has affected both the number of children who live with only their mother and the number who live with only their father. About 7.6 million, 11% children live with their mother only in 1968 compared to 15.3 million, 21% in 2020. So it's like a 10% jump. Okay? The number of children living with their fathers only more than quadrupled from 0.8 million, 1%, to 3.3 million, 4.5%. That's what I said earlier. Yeah, I was right, about 4%. I couldn't do all that math real quick between 1968 and 2020. Okay? 3.3 million. All right? This goes against the red pill narrative that guys can't get their kids, because somehow 3.3 million guys have. You're looking at one of them right now. I've done that. This guy. All right? So the narrative that you can't get your kids is not true. It's not true. All right? That one ain't true. The thing of it is they want to complain about also the woman getting custody, but we just went over that 51% of the time the man is agreeing to that. So it's still a man's choice. It's still a man's choice. It's still a man's choice. That's why I thought the video, the women really ain't got no say, because the rules are written by men and the man still got a doggone choice. Now, it is saying 51% of these cases, there's about 49% where this dude didn't get no choice. But in them cases, it's going to be some kind of problem, because them two can't agree with each other and they be in all the other good see or whatever. So we're going to get into that in a little bit here. Okay, now we're going to talk about gender bias in child custody hearing, okay? Because this is one of the main complaints of these groups, the men's rights activists and that other kind of stuff, which I don't see why they're complaining, because based on this right here and based on personal experience, I think you got a fair chance of getting this stuff. But a lot of guys just don't do it. So while parents often agree that the mother should receive primary custody of a child, the percentage is not as high as the percentage of mothers who do get custody, okay? This indicates that many divorced fathers who would prefer to have custody of their children are not awarded custody. Does this indicate gender bias? Before they even get into that, I'm saying, yeah, I know that it's there. I know that it's there, okay? And the guys, this is their main complaint, that there's gender bias there, okay? What you got to understand is the reason why gender bias there is because, well, the guys wrote the rules. We wrote the rules. So, I'm going to be gender biased about it. If I had to decide it, I'd get a mother kid and send the dude back to work. You need to go get the money and take care of the kid. But that's, the red pill narrative pushes that. They push that the man should be the breadwinner and should be taking care of everything. But they don't want this part, and that's why I'm against them. They don't want this part. When you say that, okay, you're saying that, but then we want to enforce that. You don't want it to be that way. See, no. According to a study by the American Psychological Association, gender stereotypes may indeed play a role in child custody decisions. In this study, good mothers receive greater custody allocations than good fathers did in the United States, Brazil, and Argentina. Follow-up studies linked maternal primary custody to be the propensity to ascribe warmth-related traits such as generosity, trustworthiness, and friendliness to mothers. Okay? There is also a tendency to believe that mothers have more time to spend with their children. All right? This is, however, less often the case with the rise of two-income families. All right? And that's the truth. See, these guys complaining and talking about they need to change rules, need to change laws. No. Women already kind of helped this to go into play when they took on the doggone employment role. Because, see, that's how I got my kids. Oh, she got to work. I ain't working. I got about $5,000-$6,000 coming in a month. I got a job. I got a business that I run, and it makes money. So, yeah, her income is probably about $2,000-$3,000 a month because they're gonna work in a job. So about $2,000 something and $3,000. I got double that, and I'm at the house all day. So I mean, you can't tell me that she's in a better position to take care of the kid or be around the kid and something like that, because I'm all naturally or logically, actually, in a position to do that. Okay. In 1960, just 1/4 of married customers were in dual income households, while the father alone was employed in 70% of families, and the mother alone was employed in just 2%. Okay? That's back in 1960. They're going way back there. And see, the guy was working 70% of the time. It was just him. Right? And that's what people are going off of. Like I said, the guys wrote the rules. Guys wrote the rules. So we know that in most cases, guys are going to be working and taking care of the house. We know that. It was the same in 1960, it's the same now, but it was going on now in 2010. By 2010, those figures had changed substantially, with 6% of families being dual income households. The father alone working in just 31% of the cases. So now, see, it ain't the guy that's being the breadwinner no more. Now, how'd that fit into that? Like I said, the way I did it. Hey, look, yeah. I just reversed the role on him pretty much. Hey, she got to go to work and stuff. I don't. That's really what they're looking at. Who gonna have time to take care of the kid? Who gonna be there? That's really what they're looking at. And in most cases, if guys are really on their purpose, they probably not gonna have that kind of time if they really on their purpose. Okay? Custody time statistics. Who gets custody is one way of measuring custody arrangements. Another is how much time each parent gets to spend with their children. And again, this figure differs from state to state, okay? All right. Now they got a little chart here, but everything that's on this chart, they're going to go down here and tell you. How much custody time a father gets varies widely by state, with 20 states giving fathers 50% of the overall time, okay? 50% of the overall time. So even if you don't get custody of the kid, they still make sure you get to be with the kid 50% of the time. So I don't understand the argument that you're not getting to see your children. When the woman has control over it, because I'm telling you what they're going to do. Once they, if the judge got to act, they're going to make a doggone order. I've done it before. Hey, she want to bring the kid over there? Oh, went right to the courthouse. Told them that. They called her in and said, hey, look, you can take this kid over there like we told you to. We're going to hold your ass contempt. We're going to give custody to the father and A, B, and C. Okay? It's just that simple. What these guys got to do is stop being punks and learn how to use the system. Okay? By contrast, fathers in Tennessee get just 21% of custody time. They don't get a lot in Tennessee. But then again, in Tennessee, most of them can get their kid. So if you can't get your kid, because they got a quarter of the household up there that's doing it. They the ones with the most people. So it's easy for a guy to get his kid. So if you ain't gonna get your kid, then you probably don't want much time with your kid. That's probably how they're looking at that, guys. Because you're living in a state where a quarter of the people, a quarter of the households are ran by men and with the kids there. So it's probably pretty easy to get your kids there. Okay. In Connecticut, Maine, New Mexico, and Vermont, with parenting time divided equally among male and female parents, each parent spends about 182 days each year with their children. So I guess it's about half. We're saying equally. So they equal it out in those states. In Texas, with just 33% of parenting time allotted to male parents, fathers are awarded only about 120 days each year with their children, whereas mothers receive about 245 days. So in Texas, they definitely give the mother more time. But 120 days, y'all, that's like 6 months. It's like half the year. Yeah. It's like 4 months. Because 2 months is 60 days. 90. So about 4 months. About 4 months out of the year. Okay. That's pretty decent, guy. Especially since most of that's going to be spread out like every other weekend or something like that. So 50-50 custody and shared custody, okay? The terms shared custody and joint custody are often used interchangeably, but they have slightly different meanings. Joint custody refers to an arrangement under which both parents have an equal say in decisions made regarding a child. Shared custody, by contrast, refers to the amount of time a parent spends with the child, okay? Shared custody arrangements often strive to create a 50-50 split. Equal parenting time between the parents. This could involve children alternating between parents every month, every 6 months, or every year. Another possibility is, after divorce, children spend weekends with one parent and weekdays and school breaks or summer vacation with the other. That's like they call that standard visitation. So the thing about we can't get our kids, we can't see our kids, I don't believe that. That ain't true. It's an argument point to keep people arguing and fussing and fighting and complaining when really they got the tools to change that. How custody time in fact impacts families, okay? Now, as of 2015, joint custody arrangements were common. More common in sole paternal custody, but less common in sole maternal custody, okay? So the woman might have sole like physical custody. They call that physical custody, okay? But there's going to be joint custody. The kid lives there, but the father still got say. people don't enforce this stuff though. They don't enforce it. Okay. Okay, among couples with joint custody, 57% share both physical and legal custody, an increase from 42% in 1992. So that's going up. That's why I see like these guys are trying to lobby to change this shit, but it's just it's changed on its own. It's changing on its own, but they just don't want to see it. All right. With 34% sharing joint physical custody and 9% sharing only legal custody. Okay. So you're getting an increase, a big increase. It's like more than half. But these people are talking about that no, it can't happen. It doesn't happen, or it's not. No, it is happening. It happened for me. But that's what I'm trying to put out there. The guys, you gotta leave that junk alone. You got to go find out how to do the right thing. Consult lawyers if you got to. They talk about making all that money and being a big dog and rich and all the other good shit, but I don't hear them never talking about consulting a lawyer to get your shit, like get what you want, which is what the rich people do. Either way as it goes. With regard to joint custody arrangements, occurrences of domestic violence on the part of husbands was reduced by 2.7% because probably, you know what I'm saying, he was probably having problems with the woman and couldn't get her to do anything. So with the court saying it's going to be joint custody, now he ain't got to flare up and whoop ass to try to see his kids and do all that other good stuff. I'm not saying they didn't have no problems doing it. What I'm saying is the legal tools to do it is there. Okay? Children in states with joint custody laws are 1.4% high points more likely to drop out of high school. Children in joint custody states are 1% point less likely to graduate from college. And suicide rates among men and women decline in states with joint custody laws, with male suicide rates dropping by about 9% in the long term. So yeah, you know, joint custody, neither one of the parents is getting chewed out or left out of the thing. So yeah, you was gonna stop a lot of depression and stuff like that with this. In sole custody family, the non-custodial parent obviously does not get to spend much time with the child beyond visitation. Shared custody arrangements, on the other hand, can be challenging because time needs to be spent taking children back and forth between the parents, unless parents are on the same page. And even if they are, going back and forth between two different environments can be jarring for a child, okay? Now, I want to talk about the Access and Visitation Grant Program, okay? Because there's a grant program that provides funding of $10 million annually to 54 states and territories through the Department of Health and Human Services, okay? The DHR. Okay? To increase non-custodial parents' time with their children. So when these guys talking about I ain't got the money and all the other good stuff, that's why I keep saying it need to go to the system and make sure, because I'm proving it now. I'm proving it now that there's something there. And they're saying that it's not, but it is. There's stuff there for guys. I'm going to keep telling them, women ain't got no damn say. They're going to do the laws that men wrote. Under this program, parenting time for non-custodial fathers increased by 62%. And for non-custodial mothers by 47% in 2013. In 2018, states reported that nearly half of the 19,000 non-custodial parents served by the program had increased parenting time. We're going to click on that bubble, and we're going to come back to this one because I want to look at this. I want to look at this a little bit more, okay? And this is a whole site. www.acf. I try to go back when I get done with this and try to leave a link to this, and then you can see there's a guy there with his kid, because that's what it's for. That's a beautiful site right there. And look, they give you the money to do it now. They give you the money to do it, so there's no excuse. None. All right, I want to touch on that real brief, and I think I'm gonna do a whole video about it. I'm gonna get done with this. I think I'm gonna just do a whole video about that one thing and talk about it. So let's go talk about child support now. Another complaint that these guys are having. If you're paying child support, how much you're likely to pay depends on a variety of factors. Most importantly, your gross monthly income, wages, bonus, capital gains, and interest. Several states have child support calculators online that can help you estimate child support payments. All right. Here are some statistics on child support from the U.S. Census Bureau. If I clicked on that, we go to a big thing, but they already broke it down for you. Nearly half of all custodial parents, 49.4%, had either legal or informal child support agreements in 2017. Okay. Custodial parents received an average of $3,431 annually, $3,000, about $3,500 annually in child support. Which that's about right, because you're gonna pay about $400 a month. In 2015, 12.1% of child support agreements were informally established between the two parents. Okay, because the judge won't act. They don't. One thing I know about this from going to these courts myself, they don't really want to be in that. They don't really want to be in that. So if y'all come up with something on your own, they'll just write that down and say, okay. The junk is a lot easier than what they try to make it sound. It sounds all complicated and stuff like that, but it ain't, y'all. It ain't. All right. In 2015, the average amount of child support due was about $5,760 per year. A little over $400 a month. Like I was just saying before. I know that because I've been getting it. Okay? Been getting it. So, since then and before, because my son, me and my daughter was staying with me till she graduated and went to the Air Force. Okay? 39.6% of custodial single dads were awarded child support in 2015. 52.7% of custodial single moms were awarded child support in 2015. So that ain't much less, guys. It's about 10% less, and I'm pretty sure the guys who didn't get it didn't ask for it. Now they talk a little bit about how to prepare for a child custody hearing, and I would consult a lawyer. You know, these guys this is a lawyer group, but I'll consult lawyers to prepare for a child custody hearing. That's what I did in mine anyway. All right. The divorce process is a difficult one. If you're facing that prospect, it's a good idea to find a lawyer. They're telling you that already, and I'm telling you. Now, if you have a child custody hearing coming up, it's also a good idea to speak with a child custody lawyer or family law attorney, because these are two different things. That's another thing that guys don't understand. They think that the divorce, no, you got to do the family stuff. Even child support and visitation are different. Both of those are different. You got to apply for both of those. All right. You get the kid, then you have to go and apply for child support. You don't just get child support because you got the kid. That doesn't happen either. They're going to give custody, and then they're going to be a child support application. Okay. Child custody forms and calculators are available online. And the laws vary from state to state, y'all. It will be prudent to familiarize yourself with the law in your state. Okay? So you know what's going on, instead of listening to them jokers. All right, and it's not an easy process, but the proper tools and guides, it's possible to navigate it successfully. And that's the end of it, guys. That's pretty much it. And I want to put this information out there because I wanted to have it where some guys, the guys, is not that bad. It's not that bad. You got a group of men that's walking around telling guys that they can't do this, they can't do that, when you can do that. And like I said, women ain't got no say. The laws are written by men. Women only been voting in not even 100 years in the United States. They doggone sure they make the laws. And as you can see, there's a lot of change starting to happen because now that women have joined the workplace, now they became susceptible to the thing that the guys were going to have to deal with because you're the breadwinner and the worker. Because if there's a dude not working, I've seen that happen. I've seen them be like, well, he's not working. Look, I didn't. He's not working. He's got some money at the house. Matter of fact, you just send him some money and he take care of the kid. Because that's really what be going on. That's really what be going on. And if people kind of take it from that point of view, a lot more guys are going to have success. They already 3.3 million fathers have their kids. And you're going to try and tell me that everybody else can't do it. No, you don't want to do it. Or it's something wrong with you. A lot of them ain't telling that either. But the red pill narrative that it can't happen, that the system just against you, no. No. You might not think that I'm right. You might got something to say, you let me know. Drop the comments, let me know. But this right here pretty much debunks that doggone, that complaint. Right? It debunks that complaint. And the women don't have any say in it. They got to follow the laws the same way as everybody else. Women are always going to live under the patriarchy and protection of men. Okay? It may not seem that way to some guys, but guys like me, yeah, it is going to be that way. Why? Because if you let groups like MGTOW, the men going their own way, manosphere, red pill, if they ever gain really control over this shit, women going back to the dark ages. And the guys in charge can't let that happen because then women going to be pissed off. There's going to be problems. It's like a lot of other junk. The rules are written by men. They were written because, hell, whoever's making the money needs to keep making the money and pay for the kids and the family that they started. That's the way they look at that. Y'all let me know what y'all think. But this should pretty much debunk that bullshit that them doggone red pill guys be talking. So y'all drop the comments, hit subscribe, hit like, share this to other people, and share the information about the program for fathers and non-custodial parents to be able to visit. I think everybody should look that up. I'm gonna make a video about it. So this been Taurus down to y'all. Go hard, go home. I'm out of here on this one. I'm gonna get to work on that other video and put that out there. Y'all hit the comments. Let me know what y'all think. I'm out on this one. Taurus down to y'all. Go hard, go home.